So, to understand this further, so out of these 800 hours that you talked about, this is the way Moreno had designed it.
Yes, I mean,
Um,
he might have had a few different things in there, but I've
yes.
stayed with the 800 hours.
Okay, lovely.
Now, in Europe, I think there's something like 2,400 hours. Now, of course, people might choose to do that many. I
Yes.
have got trainees who have been training for 10 years. They
Yes.
haven't wanted to finish at
Yeah.
5 years. They,
Yeah.
they like coming to their group, they like meeting up with like-minded people, but
Yes.
they're using their their knowledge, they're
Yeah,
using
they're
their
already working
training
also
already.
as a
Yeah,
psychodramatist and while continuing
yeah,
to upgrade
yeah,
themselves or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So there's a continual learning. We don't, also, I don't view it that learning stops after a course. For me, I will be learning if I'm 90.
Yes,
I will
yes,
learn something new.
yes.
Yeah,
In fact, when we start applying it is when the learning happens the most. So,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, that is when the real weaving of what we've learned
Yeah,
into what is happening in the here and now
yeah,
starts happening
yeah,
in a more
yeah,
effective way inside,
yeah,
because then you
yeah,
are risking making a mistake, going back and forth, learning, coming back,
yeah,
looking at your own style,
yeah,
further developing yourself professionally as a
yeah,
dramatist, and then again going back
yeah.
there. So, yeah. So, apart from these 500 hours of training, what are the
Well,
rest
there's
300?
800.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, 500. You said 500 hours out of those 800 are
500 hours
training.
would definitely be in a
Training.
concentrated training group. Others would be 100 hours of supervision. Others
Yes.
would be in a whole range of other groups,
Yeah.
like intensive groups, 4-day groups, residential groups,
Yes. Yes.
conferences, all
Yes.
sorts of things like that would
Yes.
make up the rest of the hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so at PIMS, this is the kind of regular training that happens. There are people that get trained and
Yes.
develop as psychodramatist. What else does your institute do?
Well, it does a lot of things. Our institute's been going since 2001.
Okay.
Yes. But before that, I was the director of another training program in another institute for another 20 years before that. So I've got quite a lot of experience in running training institutes
Yes.
and staying with people over the course of their training.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of experience,
Yes.
as in understanding about trainees and what are the different needs and what the trainer has to develop in themselves, etc.
Yeah.
So I think now that I've done psychodrama in 30 other countries. In Japan, I've been going there. I started going there in 1986,
Okay.
which is 30,
Years now. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
30 odd years ago.
Yes.
Um, and I go annually there every year, and I've trained one psychodramatist from there, one
I saw his pictures and his programs on your website also.
Shunmaida. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes,
Yes. Awesome.
yes. He became a psychodramatist 3-4 years ago, and we've got a couple of other people there who are psychodrama assistants, and a couple of other people who we have 3 levels of certification.
Okay.
So our first one is auxiliary ego,
Okay.
the certificate of auxiliary ego. That is a very important certificate. It's usually given 1 year after or 2 years after the training.
Okay.
And in that 1 year, the first year of training, which is about 100 and anywhere between 100 and 150 hours of working in 1 year,
Yes.
the person needs to be able to take the role of somebody else, step into the shoes of another human being,
Yeah.
play the role of their
Completely.
mother, play the role of their father, and really take that role up, not just pretend that they're
Yes.
acting something.
Yes.
See what I mean?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not about acting.
It's being that other person.
Embodied.
Embodied.
So when I step onto the stage to take a role for someone, and we call even a square of carpet the stage, this table
Yes.
could be a
Stage.
stage.
Yes.
Or if I were in a nursing home and the person had their tray
Hmm.
for their food, if we
Hmm.
took the food off, that could be a stage.
Yes.
And you work with the salt and the pepper and the
Fantastic.
chopsticks or whatever, and they could be objects. So a psychodrama stage can be anything.
Yes.
Yes. I just thought I'd tell you that.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It brings me to one of the methods that is used in play therapy. They work with children and they create a small space, and then there are these different objects, and the child can, you
Yeah.
know, maneuver, and
Yeah.
that helps the
Yeah.
unconscious processes to
Yeah.
unfold.
Yeah.
Mm,
And it
mm.
gives a container.
Yes, it does. And then one of the things could, the salt could become the mother, and
Yeah.
this is the father, and this
Yeah.
is this, and this is where they sit in the house, and
Yeah.
everything gets
Yeah.
played out like that.
Yeah. You can use rocks and sticks and you can work on the street
Yeah.
with it.
So what is, like, you use this word container?
Yeah.
What is the importance of it in psychodrama? This thing called container.
Okay, so in actual fact, container is not a word that maybe lots of psychodramatists will use.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I like to call it a container
Mm-hmm.
because I know that people relate to the word container as safety. So I've taken it on board and use it. Now, but the container can be the group. The container is the group. So this is why I have a
Yes.
horseshoe shape, and
Yes.
all of those chairs are important as a boundary.
Yeah.
And then you can get straight up from the chair and move on to the space and
Yes.
enact the drama. You
Yes.
don't, if you've got a circle, you've
Yeah.
got to break up the chairs, everybody's got to move. It's
Yes.
unwieldy.
Yes, it is.
And
And then
then you've got to
again, you have
do
to
the drama.
rearrange the chairs and then
Yeah,
go on to the drama.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you've got to put it all back again.
Yes.
Well, that takes time. And we don't have time.
Yes. Yes. And also, I think in some ways it would be breaking the energy every time.
Exactly, you break the warm up. The warm up can just plummet.
Yes.
So one minute you've got someone ready to go and you do all this, and then they might go, you know what, I don't think I'll do my drama now.
Yes.
And you can't make them,
No.
nor would you want to.
No.
But also that container is really important. If you take that chair away, like if someone came and took this table away from us now, we would feel like we're falling off a cliff
Yes.
because we'd got used to that being there.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
So well said. So
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Mm.
So we say to people, don't take a chair out of the group when you need a chair on the stage. Let's use some other chairs. Because as soon as you take a chair out of that horseshoe of chairs, you change the safety factor for the other group members
Yes.
still sitting there.
Yes. Yes.
Now people, say, don't you think you're a bit obsessional, you know? And I go, no, this has not got to do with obsession. And they say, well, you've made us move the chairs around so it's a smooth circle. What's wrong if they're a bit out of kilter? And I go, well, because the group gets skewed. If you
Yeah.
have a chair back and some forward and some facing away from people and some this and feet up on chairs, and you've actually changed the structure of the group. And
Yes.
it's not the
The
same
dynamic
anymore.
shifts. It's not the same anymore.
No.
True.
And so this is what I mean by when I earlier said about working in the here and now, everything's important.
Yes.
People, objects,
Yeah.
they're all part of
Yeah.
the whole.
And more than the obsessional thing, I think if you have to be true to your person and be a psychodramatist the way you are, and as a person, for you, if safety is important, then it is important.
Yes,
This is your method.
yes.
So,
Now I'm going to say the exact opposite. When
huh.
I was working in the drug and alcohol field back in 1982, everyone was still smoking in groups. And so you'd have ashtrays absolutely overflowing with cigarette butts. You'd have people lying on the floor, some of them half out of it. You'd have some people sitting in chairs. You'd have an absolute exact copy of a room somewhere in society. Now, I come into that culture. I don't suddenly set up my chairs in a horseshoe.
No,
They won't work with me
no.
because I've made it unsafe.
For them,
Yes.
because that, lack of structure
Yeah,
is safety for them.
that's right.
Beautiful. So you weave in to their sense of safety.
Yeah,
What is it that makes it safe for
yeah,
them?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
play around with that.
yeah, yeah. So you see how creative
Ah,
the method is
yes,
and
yes.
spontaneous. It's not rule bound,
No,
but there are elements
essential elements that.
that you need to work with, and you need to be flexible with how you
Yes,
do it.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.